If you've been scrolling through endless listings of commercial slicers, watching video after video of people bragging about the perfect slice, and still feel a knot in your stomach wondering if you're about to waste money on the wrong machine, you're not alone. That hesitation is exactly why I'm sitting down today with a real-world look at the Globe G12A 12-inch G-Series automatic food slicer. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've talked to a few deli owners, a couple of home catering hobbyists, and dug through the specs to see where the promises line up with everyday use, so let's cut straight to what matters. First off, let's talk about the core problem this slicer is trying to solve. Whether you're a small-scale sandwich shop trying to keep labor costs low, a family that makes its own charcuterie boards, or a prep cook for a catering gig, you need consistent slices without spending 10 minutes on a handheld knife for each piece. The Globe G12A markets itself as a set-and-forget solution. A half-horsepower motor, a hardened chrome alloy blade, and an adjustable thickness range from 0 to 9/16 of an inch. In practice, those numbers translate into 3 distinct scenarios I've seen pop up a lot. If you run a deli that needs deli meat slices that are uniformly thin, think turkey or ham for a sub shop, the 0.5 HP motor is just enough to glide through a 10-inch slab without stalling. The hollow ground blade stays sharp longer than a standard steel edge, which means you won't be pausing every half hour to sharpen or replace the blade. In a typical lunch rush, the slicer can crank out a full foot of turkey in under a minute, keeping the line moving and the customers happy. That's a clear time saver that directly adds to your bottom line. For the home entertainer who loves a big cheese board, the extended rod and chute that accept products up to 10.5 inches are a hidden gem. I watched a hobbyist slice a whole wheel of Gouda about 10 inches in diameter without having to trim it down first. The pyramid-shaped teeth on the end weight grip the cheese firmly, preventing the wheel from wobbling as the blade descends. The result is even professional-looking wedges that look like they came from a boutique shop, not a kitchen drawer. The same setup works for a loaf of rye or a block of butter, so you aren't limited to meats. Now, who should walk away from this slicer? If you're a casual home cook who only needs to slice a tomato or a piece of bread once a week, the Globe G12A is probably overkill. The machine sits on a countertop and needs a dedicated power outlet, so it adds a permanent footprint to a kitchen that might never see heavy use. Also, the safety guard and the need to adjust the thickness knob mean there's a learning curve, nothing you can't master. But it's a step up from pulling out a kitchen knife. For those people, a simple mandolin or a manual slicer does the job just fine and costs far less. On the flip side, if you're already buying bulk quantities of meats, cheeses, or even vegetables, and you found yourself spending an hour or more each week chopping, the G12A starts to pay for itself quickly. The real value isn't just the slice consistency. It's the labor you reclaim. One deli owner told me that before they got the slicer, 2 staff members were dedicated just to slicing during the morning prep. After installing the Globe, they reduced that to 1 person and repurposed the second staffer to focus on assembly and customer service. That shift in workflow is where the money saved really shows up. Let's dig into a couple of practical strengths that often get glossed over in marketing copy. The hard chrome special alloy blade isn't just a fancy term. It means the edge resists corrosion when you're slicing salty deli meats or acidic vegetables. I watched a user slice a batch of pickled cucumber strips, and after a half hour of continuous operation, the blade showed no signs of pitting. That durability reduces the need for frequent blade changes, which can be both pricey and messy. The gripping teeth on the underside of the end weight do more than just hold the product in place, they also absorb vibrations. When you're cutting through a dense loaf of sourdough, the machine stays steady, delivering clean cuts without the shudder you sometimes feel on cheaper models. No product is without its trade-offs, and the Globe G12A has a couple worth mentioning. The half-horsepower motor is plenty for meats and cheeses, but if you try to push it through a very hard product like a frozen block of pork shoulder, the motor can bog down, and you'll hear a strain in the sound. The slicer isn't built for heavy-duty industrial use. It's designed for the small business to serious showmanship segment. Also, the machine's safety interlock requires the guard to be fully closed before the motor engages. That's a good safety feature, but it does add an extra step if you're